Just watching TVC News at 1. Welcome to business. The Corporate Affairs Commission has extended the deadline for the commencement of penalties against companies that fail to file annual returns from January 2024 to April 1, 2024. The Commission, in a statement in Abuja by the Director of Press, Mr. Dominic Iyang, said management decided to extend the penalty date following glitches experienced on the company registration portal. The director enjoined all registered entities under the CAMA to take advantage of the window provided by the extension to file their annual returns to date with the Commission. Earlier in November, the Commission said it would list 91,843 companies from its register for failing to file their annual returns with it. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, says Nigeria can easily earn 10 trillion naira annually through efficient management of its non-oil asset. Mr. Oyedele said this in Lagos at a stakeholders forum organized by the Harvard Business School Association of Nigeria. The committee chairman emphasized that the country's non-oil asset, estimated to be worth between 80 trillion and 100 trillion naira, have not received adequate attention and are being mismanaged. Mr. Oyedele highlighted the need for improved asset management and the potential benefit of selling underperforming assets to generate liquidity and stimulate economic growth. And in the meantime, the federal government in October 2023 kick-started a long-awaited compressed natural gas initiative with the handing over of 2 CNG fuel buses to the management of the State House in Abuja. Since the launch, the federal government has been receiving commendation for the initiative, which will serve as an alternative fuel following the removal of fuel subsidy by the government. It is in light of this that a public affairs and policy analyst, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, is asking for more investment in infrastructure development to enable more private sector participation in the initiative. Mr. Oyedele spoke with our business editor, Mr. Atolulope Okujobi, on our flagship business program, Business Nigeria.
Step that government must follow through. Of course, it will require a lot of investment because the infrastructure is not exactly there. The nation has been wired to use PMS and AGO and all the rest, and that also dictated how we have invested in filling stations and facilities for AGO and the rest of it. So adopting a new energy source required that we also make necessary investment in infrastructure to support that adoption. So from issues around, if I convert my engine today to a CNG engine, where will I get the CNG? So the people who provide the CNG and all the rest of it, it requires a lot of investment. However, to jumpstart adoption is the issue of government itself investing, which is where all this issue of 1,000 CNG buses and the rest of it comes in. If government invests, it will provide its own infrastructure for its own buses, and it will encourage the private sector to also begin to invest in that space. So it is important that we see it through from the perspective of the fact that it enables the adoption of an alternative energy, which is said to be cheaper.
And outside Nigeria, Asian stocks took a breather on the last trading day of the year and set to snap their 2-year losing streak, with investors sustained by the expectations that the Federal Reserve will start cutting interest rates next year. MSCI's Broadex Index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan was little changed earlier today, but holding near a 5-month peak and was headed for a 5% gain in the year after 2 years of heavy losses. In Asia, the best performing major stock market in 2023 was Japan's Nikkei with a gain of 28%. Taiwan's stock market was close behind with a 26.6% rise in the year. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index followed with a 14% decline. China's blue chip stock was on course for 11% decline for the year. The pan-European stocks has had a blistering end to the end of the year and is up by 11%. S&P 500 ended the sessions by 0.3% shy of its record closing high. Away from the now, U.S. aircraft manufacturer says all civil airlines in China have resumed operating their 737 MAX planes nearly a year after grounding it in 2019. The CEO of Boeing China, Mr. Liu Qin, said the company has taken a delivery of new planes, which he described as a positive sign of the industry's recovery and growth. The best-selling Boeing model was grounded after fatal crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. Boeing last week made its first direct delivery of 787 Dreamliner to China since 2019, a step seen as a possible prelude to the end of Beijing's freeze on 737 MAX deliveries. And now, Alphabet's Google has agreed to settle a lawsuit claiming the search engine giant secretly tracked millions of users' internet use, despite believing they were browsing in incognito mode. The lawsuit, which had sought about $5 billion, was filed in 2020 in the U.S. District Court, Northern District of California, and covered millions of Google users seeking damages of $5,000 per user, or about 3 times actual damages, whichever is greater. Google's parent company, Alphabet Incorporation, is accused of legally collecting information about what people are viewing online and what they are doing. They're browsing through various applications and website plugins, including Google Analytics and Google Ad Manager. U.S. District Judge Ms. Ivone Gonzalez-Rogers in Oakland, California, put a schedule February 5, 2024, a trial in the proposed class action on hold after lawyers for Google and for consumers said they had reached a preliminary settlement. And crude oil prices are set to end 2023 about 10% lower, the first annual decline in 2 years after geopolitical concerns, production cut, and global measures to rein in inflation triggered wide fluctuations in prices. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to sell at $72.21 per barrel, with an uptick of 0.61%. Brent crude futures also experienced an upward price margin of 0.78%, selling at $77.75 per barrel. Bonnie Light recorded a downward price reveal of 2.05%, selling at $79.81 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers are offering $80.84 per barrel with a price decline of 0.49%.